there is zero travel. Wow, I just lost the nuts to the seat, so, and I use Loctite. Wow, okay. So we'll put that back on there. That's wild. Whoa! What's going on, gearheads? So the Bobber build is finally done, and well, we need to take it on an official ride. But stick around towards the end. There's some things we got to talk about, and definitely some things that I would do different next time if I did it again. Let's hit the road. A neighborhood pisser offer. This thing is stupid loud. Yeah, it doesn't really like to take off either, so we're gonna have to tune the carb a little bit and play with that. Definitely after it's been sitting for a little bit, which is making me think that there's a possibility that the carburetor is just flooding out with too much fuel. So I don't know. We'll check that out too. Well, we played with the carb a little bit while we were riding, and it's back feeding out of the where the air filter would be. So yeah, it's definitely out of sync. Well, definitely out of tune, so gotta really look at that there. So fourth gear seems to be like the sweet spot. Runs great, cruises great. Third gear starts to kind of, wouldn't say hiccup, it's just super jerky. The shifting is really, really tight. I find myself dodging every hole in the ground. So yeah, it's just not fun. But I think we got the air fuel mixture set up pretty well. So we got the bolts that we needed from the dealership here, and Adrenaline Harley helped me out. So I'll give a shout out to them. Free bolts for me. So like that, let's go ahead and get this thing home. My butt hurts. Wow, it's much nicer over here. There's not a lot of traffic, so I like this here. You know that Carol Baskin's Big Cat Rescue? I'm pretty sure she's affiliated with that place. I know you all have seen Tiger King. Big Cat Habitat? Pretty sure it's just the same thing. There's a really nice canopy road up here. We'll go up there and check it out, and then head back. I think we're getting low on fuel too. There really isn't any gas station options over in this way. Man, this thing runs so good in a high gear. So good in a high gear. I think with a better seat, like I was saying, and then able like to lean back like a king and queen, I think you could do much better. Definitely like longer distance. Oh, well, I don't have a speedometer, so I didn't know how fast I was going. That's my excuse for that one. That's the top gear right there. That's fourth gear. I'm guessing we're doing about 40-ish. Super-ish, maybe like 45, 47. I don't know. More and more homes. Y'all need to stop moving to Florida, man. Go to a different state. You almost kind of forget that you can't feel your backside. Kind of just, I don't know, with the relaxation of riding, you just don't really even feel it. You kind of just forget. All your worries out of the window. I'm thinking new handlebars too. These kind of suck. You know what's nice about this bike though, compared to my Street Glide, and I guess you could say the well, anything pre-Evolution 8, I think is what's called, or the M8. Those things burn you sitting at a stoplight. So, and just from the radiating heat that's coming off of the bike on the big touring bikes, they hurt. But I sat on one of the new ones and they don't do that. But what I'm trying to get at is this one here doesn't radiate any heat at all. No, it is an Evo, but we haven't really figured out if it's an 883 or a 1200, 1100. I'm not even too sure. I had the dealership run the VIN on the motor, and they were coming up with 1100, which doesn't really jive with the title. But the title that was on the motor originally with the old bike was a salvage title. So I don't know. Maybe we'll never know. But it does have some good pickup compared to a normal 883. And then taking into consideration the carburetor aspect of it. Oh man, here comes that bridge of hell right here. It's got like the worst hump in it. It's like you'd like tense up. Oh man, that hurt. Definitely an age cutoff on these bikes, I can tell you that. You ain't 60 years old riding one of these suckers. Well guys, I think that's a wrap on the ride here. Let's kind of talk about some of my observations and what we'll do differently. Probably different tank, maybe a Springer front end like I mentioned, different seat, maybe a different frame. There's a bunch of different variations on the frames now that are available, so probably do something different, maybe stretched out a little further, I don't know, not as maybe a little wider so it can accompany like a fat 40 what's it called, the 48 rear tire. All right guys, so that is the final episode for our bobber build there. We may do some little tweaks here and there and add the fender to it and some other stuff. What I did notice is there is an oil leak. There's some wires that need to be rerouted. So we're gonna have to fix some of that stuff up. I had some oil streaking over the battery that I just noticed, and as well as some other little issues here and there. Now, one of the biggest things that I wanna look at, well, to show you here, is there is zero travel. Wow, I just lost the nuts to the seat, so, and I use Loctite. Wow, okay. So we'll put that back on there. That's wild. Whoa! All right guys, so let's try that again since we just lost pretty much all the hardware to the seat. So we're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna get back. I can't say that I'm unhappy with the bike. It is different from like riding a Street Glide or a modern day Sportster. It is a hard mounted engine. There is no bushings, no nothing, and it shakes. What's interesting is when you're riding it and you get off, you cannot feel the lower half of your body. You could probably pinch it and yeah, you wouldn't even know it was there. So the seat, yeah, it is uncomfortable, but yet again, it's just rigid mount. You know, it is what it is, and it blows my mind that people used to actually ride these things back in the day. So yeah, that does it for our final episode on the Bobber Build. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you're doing one yourself, I do have some tips for you, so reach out to me. Some things I learned that I would definitely do different if I did it again. Definitely want to thank the help from like Lowbrow and those guys and whatnot. Learned a lot from that. But again, it is a trial and error thing. It was my first time building one of these, so definitely do things different next time. But hope you enjoyed the episode. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you for our next build.